What is going on, everyone? Leon checking in. And this here is the Google Daydream View unboxing and impressions video. And I gotta say, I'm very excited about this one. So what is this thing here? This is virtual reality with your phone, simply put. Now, I've tried other generic viewers in the past and none of them seem to work all that well, but this one has been working really good for me. The Daydream View comes in at $99 and features the headset and the controller. The goal of this video is to unbox this device, explain the contents, and share what it's like to use the Daydream View. We're also going to answer some of the questions that I had initially that you might have as well, such as will a phone fit in this if it has the case on it? I'm also hoping to get some tips at the end of the video on how to use this in the most effective way possible. But I got just one reminder. The products I review on my channel, they are not sponsored. I am not sponsored. I am just a tech nerd who loves buying tech stuff to share with you. These are things that are fun or things that can improve your life, such as this smart LED Wi-Fi bulb. With that being said, let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, so here we have the box here, and it's like Google's other boxes. The top just slides off. And then as you see, we've got the VR headset here. This is going to house the phone. This is what's going to strap to our head with the adjustable straps here. And as you can see, my unit is charcoal. It is gray in color. Then we've also got the remote here, and that is going to be charcoal as well. And then we just have some instructions here that pull out with a tab. And that's pretty much it for the unboxing here. So before we go any further, it's important to know what phones you can use with the Daydream View. And the answer is there are Daydream View ready phones. These phones feature high resolution displays, ultra smooth graphics, and high fidelity sensors for precise head tracking. I've been using my Google Pixel 2 XL, which works with the Daydream View, and it actually works excellent. I'm gonna go ahead and post a link of Daydream View compatible phones in the description below, so you can go ahead and check that out. Moving on to the headset, my Daydream View is charcoal in color, and this gives it a nice look. The unit features a textured pattern with Google logo, and this gives the device a nice feel. Now, the Daydream View headset is secured to the user by the use of adjustable straps, and these straps are adjustable at 3 different locations. Now, I didn't need to adjust this because the unit actually fit good on my head, and there's also some stretch in these straps. Securing your phone in Daydream View is done by unhooking the elastic strap and placing your phone on the door, and then folding the door up and securing the elastic strap once again. Now, fitment for the phone will be odd even for a Pixel 2 XL, a Google branded device. My phone sticks out at the top, and you can see that the door doesn't seem to be closed all the way, but these are easily overlooked because the device still works really good. What I'm most concerned about when it comes to any VR headset is how securely does it hold the phone, and also does any light from the outside bleed into the VR experience. And I could say the Daydream View holds my Google Pixel 2 XL securely, and I didn't notice any huge amounts of light bleeding into the VR experience, if any. So let's talk about the comfort of the Daydream View, since we'll be wearing it for extended periods of time. As you can see, we've got this cushion membrane here, and that's what's going to be resting on the face, and it's actually comfortable. Now, I did notice after using the Daydream View for extended periods of time that it did feel like pressure on my face, but I think it was just from the straps being tight over time. A nice feature of Daydream View is the cushion membrane is actually removable, and this is for cleaning reasons. And as you can see here, it's held on by Velcro, and it's actually held on really good. Now, I didn't want to speed this part of the video up because I wanted to show just how good it's held on and just how long it takes to get out. But as you can see, once you get it out, you can clean it up pretty good if need be. Reinstalling the cushion membrane does take considerably longer than uninstalling it, and that's because you are trying to line everything up while fighting the Velcro. It took me almost 2.5 minutes, but we do have to remember you're not going to be taking this off and putting it back on a lot. It's going to be once in a while just for cleaning purposes. Moving on, we have what Google calls the controller, but I like to call it a remote since most of the time it's held as one. Now, this controller has a pill-shaped form, which makes it nice to hold. So let's talk about the buttons a little bit here. The bottom one I found useful for going back to previous screens or home. The middle button I found useful for performing in-game functions such as press and holding it down and swinging the remote and releasing the button, and that was to throw items in a game. Then you've got the top one here, and that's interesting because it's a clickable button, but it's also touch sensitive, so you can touch it and navigate in games with it. Turning the controller on its side here, you can see we have a volume up down rocker, and they're just clickable buttons. The click's not too loud, but the buttons work great for controlling your phone's volume, or if you're using Bluetooth headphones, controlling the volume of those. Now this controller is rechargeable, and yes, it actually features a USB-C port on it. Now Google recommends using a Google branded charger, such as the charger from your Pixel device. So talking about the controller, I don't know if I'd actually call this a controller. I call it a remote. And the reason being is when you're using it in VR, you're not actually swinging it around like this to make commands. You're actually using it as a pointer, and you're pointing it at objects. Now, you could say it is a controller in a way because you have this touch sensitive pad, and you just move your finger along it just like a D-pad or an analog stick kind of motion, and that will help you make movements in a game or change direction or something like that. And then of course you've got buttons, so it's kind of controversial if it really is a controller. In my opinion, I'm going to call it a remote, but yes, Google calls it a controller. Okay, so the next thing I want to show off is just how long it takes to get into VR. And I'm going to be recording myself showing that process, but I'm also going to be doing a screen recording of what I'm doing in VR as well, so you can see what I am actually seeing, and you can see me because I'll be recording myself, so you get to see my reaction as well. Now the important thing to remember is because we are screen recording, there may be some lag in VR because of that. The performance may go down a little bit, so if you see that, don't think that the VR experience is bad. It's just because we've got that screen recorder going. The other thing to remember is when you see the screen recording, it's going to look like two separate images. Now that's normal because you're not wearing the headset. For me, I'm wearing the headset, so I'm seeing it all as one image, so I am more immersed in it. We're gonna grab the headset here and open it up, and then we're gonna prop the phone right in here, and then we're just gonna fold it closed, and I'll have to take my hat off to do this part of the video here. Then we'll put the headset right on our head and get it just about where we want it. And then we will grab the controller here and press and hold that bottom button. And now we are in VR. So it took a little bit of time for it to recognize the controller. So as you can see, the controller is used as a pointer, and we actually can use that top button there. It's touch sensitive, so we can navigate through the menus here. We can also navigate down. So the controller does act like a remote in some instances. Now we're gonna go down to our library here and click on that. And we're just going to show what we can do here. So we'll jump into Netflix. And yes, we can actually watch Netflix in VR. And this is interesting because it puts you in a room here. Now, because we are running the screen recording, there is a little bit of lag here, but this is a neat experience. You can actually watch Netflix and feel like you're in a different place here. Now we can actually use the controller as a remote and scroll down and navigate through Netflix. And if we were to see something we wanted to watch, we can go ahead and click on it. Pressing that bottom button there, we can go back to home. And then we can click on a game. We'll click on Dead Target VR. And then we'll just hold this up, and the controller is just used as a pointer to shoot the zombies. Backing out of here, we can also try another game here, Eclipse Edge of Light, one of my favorite ones here. And this top part of the remote here, that's going to be used to move around here. And by clicking it, we can also activate a jetpack. Now as you can see, we've got a ball in our hand here. And we can actually throw that by pressing and holding the middle button, looking to where we want to throw it, swinging, and then releasing the button. There's also Discovery VR, we can click on that. Okay, so let's talk about how to make this VR experience more immersive. Now, we could start by getting a swivel chair, a computer chair, anything like that. And the reason you want to have that is because in a swivel chair, you can turn around, you're sitting, so you're less likely to fall over. Now, even when playing in an open area, if you're standing up, and I've had this experience, I've almost fallen over. So that's why sitting down and being in a swivel chair is nice, because you can turn and be in that full VR experience in the safest way possible. The second thing we want to do, and I kind of mentioned it in the first one, is play in an open area. Some of these games require you to throw in-game objects just by flicking your wrist, or maybe just turning around. And when you turn around so much, it may feel like you're not moving across the room, but you slowly are. And I've had instances where I've just tapped the wall. Luckily, I wasn't swinging my arm too hard, and just thinking to myself, I'm glad I didn't throw my fist really hard at the wall there. Then the next thing you want to do to make this even more immersive is just pair some Bluetooth headphones with your phone. Now, the interesting thing about this is the controller that comes with the headset, it is paired with Bluetooth, but you can also pair Bluetooth headphones. This actually worked with my Google Pixel 2 XL, and it's just a little bit more of an upgrade versus hearing the audio through your phone, because again, this is going to block out more of everything for more of an immersive experience. Now, there is one thing to keep in mind with all of this, with becoming more immersive. If there are any safety hazards around you, any potential danger, it's going to be hard to hear that, so just something to keep in mind. Now, here's a little trick I didn't know about, and that is the headset actually has a place to store the controller, and that's right here in the strap. As you can see, we've got those two bumpers there, and the controller will fit perfectly in there. So let's give it a try. I'm going to grab the controller right now, and we are just going to push that right into there, and that holds it in place. It does slide a little bit still, but if you're storing your headset and you don't want to forget the controller, there you go. The other thing we can do is view our battery meter on the controller by looking down at the controller itself. Now, this is going to be hard for you to see, but we've actually got some LEDs here, and they're all green right now, which indicates a full charge on the controller. So now it's time to talk about things that I really love about the Google Daydream View. First thing being, I love the fact that when you put the phone in here, the phone just automatically recognizes that it's about to go into the Daydream View, and it just starts the process to get this all set up. The next thing I like about it is the remote. It's just nice to hold, nice to use, and it's a plus that you can control the volume of your phone or your Bluetooth headphones through the remote itself. And then there was one more thing I noticed a little bit later after using the VR for some time, and that was the phone, my Google Pixel 2 XL specifically, goes into Do Not Disturb, which I thought was pretty cool because it just helps to add to that more immersive experience. Now onto the things that I don't like or I wish were incorporated into this. First thing being with the remote, it would be nice to have a strap to secure it to your wrist. That way, if you go to perform a swinging motion or you do something with your arm, you don't accidentally chuck the remote. I don't know how much the remote itself would cost by itself, but I really wouldn't want to find out, and I really wouldn't want to damage anything just by being clumsy. Now, the other thing I would like to see on the remote itself would be a battery meter, because of course with there not being one, you can't see the charge date for it unless you're in VR mode where you can view it. Now the next thing I would like to see would be a way to respond to text messages easier in Daydream. Now, of course, when the Pixel 2 XL does connect to the Daydream View headset, it does go into Do Not Disturb. But when you go to the home screen of Daydream, you can still see your text messages. However, when I clicked on them, I couldn't really respond to them through on-screen VR keyboard or anything like that. So just a way to reply, even a quick reply with short answers, kind of like in messaging itself, that would be really nice. So that is pretty much it for today's video. If you enjoyed it and found it useful, make sure you leave a like. If you have any questions or comments, as always, drop those below and I'll try to answer them. There is so much going on with the VR headset, Daydream View. I just could not think of it all. I know there's a lot that I missed and I tried to cover as much of it as I could. But if there are any questions, leave them below. I'll try and answer them. I'll try to experiment some more, get those answers for you, and let you know. And of course, if you can hit that subscribe button, that'll help the channel out a lot. These videos, they do take time and money, and again, I'm not sponsored at all. I just do these videos because I'm a tech nerd and I love things that are fun and help improve life. So hitting that subscribe button means a lot. And until next time, Leon checking out.